12 News is your election headquarters. Still an hour left for you to head to the polls tonight. We are walking you through the big issues on this election day ballot. Good evening, Southeast Texas. Voters around the state are deciding on 8 different propositions.
And here at home, we have some hot topics too. From a renovated jail and law enforcement center in Newton County to a firefighters push to unionize in Port Neches and Groves. In Hamshire Fanett, a new concession stand bond is on the ballot again. And a new wastewater facility is being proposed in Lumberton. It is certainly a lot to work through.
As you can see, we've got our 12 News team put together with live team coverage here at 6. They're spread out around Southeast Texas, covering all of these big issues. We want to begin live with James Grant in Newton County.
Days, Jordan, Proposition A would include an expanded county jail and justice center. According to Newton County Judge Kenneth Weeks, tonight's vote could have a big impact on the county's future when it comes to safety and infrastructure. Judge Kenneth Weeks is asking voters to say yes to Proposition A.
It's a win-win situation for the county and the citizens.
And here's why. Right now, the Newton County Jail can only house up to 11 inmates. And once at capacity, Judge Weeks says the county has to transport inmates to other jails outside the county. That costs them money. And when other jails aren't an option, the county is forced to make some difficult decisions.
And that's when we have to turn out on the street again. And so that's no safety for the citizens of Newton County.
Judge Weeks says if Prop A passes, the money would help pay for a new expanded jail that can house up to 96 inmates. Included in the plan, an attached justice center, something Judge Weeks believes will be a boost to the county's court operations.
We're going to have a justice center out there which will house our DA, a DA assistant, our investigator. Also, we have our district clerk out there with all the records.
Judge Weeks says many people he's spoken to plan to vote yes to Proposition A. Those who don't support it say they are worried about a tax increase. Judge Weeks addressing those concerns head on.
We still going to have to pay the tax bond, but the tax rate could actually go down where it would actually pay for itself through economical development.
And Judge Weeks says if voters approve Proposition A, it should take about 1.5 years for the new jail and justice center to be completed. Live in Newton, James Grant, 12 News.
Alrighty, James, and on the ballot for people in Hamshire Fanett ISD is that new concession stand for the high school.
Yeah, the district actually calling this a concession stand pavilion. We know the old one is 40 years old, and school administrators say it's time to replace. 12 News reporter Amelia White live in the Hamshire Fanett School District tonight with what voters are saying.
Jordan, Dage, this is the old concession stand here at Hamshire Fanett High School. This is the same building that's on the ballot tonight to be potentially demolished and replaced. Here's why. Take a look at inside of the old concession stand. Mold, broken tile, and caved-in floors. District Superintendent says it's a safety hazard and it's causing Hamshire Fanett sports to miss out on revenue. For the second time, the district is proposing a $1.4 million bond to build a new concession pavilion. Aside from having the opportunity to purchase food, a restroom and dressing room will also be in the new building. Superintendent Augustine says no matter the outcome, the district's needs will remain their top priority.
If it passes, then that's great, because that will serve a need. If it doesn't pass, then I still have the responsibility to figure out how to make the district operate without that particular facility. So.
I spoke with one woman off camera who says she's against the bond proposal because of the cost. But a majority of residents I've spoken with say despite the price tag, they're ready for a new and improved building for the district and kids. If the proposal is passed, Superintendent Augustine tells me they plan to have the new concession pavilion up and running by next year, December. Now, coming up at 10, the results will be in and we'll bring you the outcome. I'm live at Hamshire Fanett. Amelia White, 12 News.
We'll see what happens. Thank you, Amelia. On the ballot in Lumberton, a new wastewater facility. The Lumberton Municipal Utility District, the MUD, says that voting yes for the new facility would translate to more growth. The old wastewater plant is 27 years old, 7 years older than it was intended to last. We spoke with the head of that utility district. He says the new plant would also help them meet state regulations.
One good thing about adding it to the tax base is the tax base. There's more people that own property within the district than there are that have water meters. So if you push it off on taxes, then you're splitting the note up with more people than just a water bill.
If approved, the district tax rate would increase 10 cents. That equals out to about $8.50 per month per $100,000 assessed value.
Now, from water to fire, firefighters in both Groves and Port Neches are trying to unionize. The collective bargaining would cost the city more money to fund those services. Now, that could mean many won't support it, but political experts say voters do tend to be sympathetic with these concerns. That's due to the nature of the jobs and because departments in larger cities have long been unionized.
Tonight, we're also tracking those 8 statewide propositions that are on the ballot today. These amendments were passed as bills during this past legislative session.
But a majority of voters in Texas have to approve them before they can officially be added to the state constitution. 12 News reporter Letitia Cahey walks us through some of those.
Over the last few years, many props have passed in Texas without a problem. Most of the time, there are just small fixes that folks would like to make to laws, but they must be amended to do so. Take, for instance, Prop 1. It aims to permit raffles at rodeos. Almost every other nonprofit can hold a raffle, but for some reason, rodeos were not included in that group. So this would basically be an amendment to a prop that already exists. Now, political analyst Thomas Tashinger from the Beaumont Enterprise says, like this prop, most are non-controversial and should pass like most of the others.
My guess is that the constitutional amendments will pass. They almost always pass, and again, they really you're only going to see 1 or 2 fail if they've got a word in there, a red flag word like taxes or salaries.
But one prop Tashinger is keeping a close eye on is Prop 3, which would prohibit the state from limiting the services of a religious organization. Now, Tashinger is against it. He says it's too broad that in the event of an emergency like a chemical spill or hurricane evacuation, the state should be able to make that call. Supporters, on the other hand, believe church leaders should have the final say, not the government. Now, though most of the propositions are expected to pass, Tashinger says showing up to vote is even more important because the low numbers, the slightest opposition could lead to an unexpected result. Letitia Cahey, 12 News.
And you still have time to get to the polls. Southeast Texas, we've made it pretty easy to find out what else is on the ballot where you live. Just text the word VOTE to 409-838-1212 to get the 12 News election guide.